man, it was hard. There were a lot of things I seen. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
The billionaire rapper.
I'm a savage!
Even Usher. Usher deleted his Twitter account, deleted it, right? Or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put,
Me again?
He wrote, account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it.
When Usher was just 13 years old, his world collided with the seedy, unpredictable reality of Diddy's Flavor Camp, a place where the line between mentorship and exploitation blurred in the most shocking of ways.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
It's hard to imagine that one of the most respected names in R&B, a Grammy winner who's known for his smooth hits and charismatic presence, was once just a kid exposed to a world no 13-year-old should ever encounter. But when Usher Raymond moved to New York to work under Diddy's mentorship, he wasn't just learning about the music business.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
What he witnessed, what he was forced to experience, was a lifestyle that came with all the excesses of fame, drugs, sex, and the type of parties that would make anyone's skin crawl.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. I should look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. I should.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the f*** did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was f***ing stupid. Listen,
we having a good time, yo. Oh, your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
So, what really went down behind closed doors at Puffy Flavor Camp, and how much of it was Usher truly aware of at the time? Let's take a deeper look at the shocking truth that's only been made clearer in recent months, as the spotlight on Diddy grows darker than ever.
Papa don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, yeah.
Usher's rise to fame was meteoric, but it didn't come without a price. After signing his first record deal, Usher found himself under the wing of Sean Diddy Combs, a man whose reputation as a powerful music mogul was only eclipsed by his penchant for controversy. In the early 90s, Usher was a young, eager talent, at the perfect age to be molded by one of the most influential figures in hip-hop and R&B.
I didn't fire her. What happened was that was a difference in opinion. In any business relationship there will be. We begin to kind of grow apart in our theory. For the most part, I felt like this would be great for us. And I really want her to be supportive of the man, Usher, not just the artist. You know, I could have many managers, but I can only have one mother. She's really enjoying being a grandmother, Grandma J, you know.
But what do you think is going to be the greatest lesson you're going to, in the end, teach your son?
I just hope that my kids will be passionate young men, that they will believe in something and stick to it.
But what Usher encountered during his time living with Diddy at the tender age of 13 wasn't the typical mentor-mentee relationship. This was far from a standard music industry education. Usher recalls how he was exposed to a world of curious things happening behind the scenes, things that, at the time, were far beyond his comprehension. I got a chance to see some things, Usher confessed during a 2016 interview with Howard Stern. I went there to see the lifestyle, and I saw it.
I heard about some music executives from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not gonna speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing some, they may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
Where did you hear it?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when somebody say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time.
And what he saw wasn't just the glamour of the music world. No, Usher was thrust into a realm where party culture ruled, where the lines between friendship and hedonism were dangerously blurred. He admitted there were always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an orgy. You never knew what was going to happen.
Like I'm just saying, he lived a rock and roll lifestyle when I was with him, bro. I don't know about his sex addiction and stuff like that. He was a totally different person, bro. When I try to tell people that, they don't understand that. He was probably doing some of the little snake shit, doing some things and stuff like that, but the magnitude and what he was doing with the freak off parties and all like that, yo, I didn't experience that with him. That was not my experience with Diddy or Puffy or Puff Daddy. That wasn't my experience with him.
And you had no idea who Usher was when you heard about him?
I didn't know who Usher was at the time. It's all gonna come out some kind of way, bro. All this is God's, this is something that was put in place, and it was designed by God, brother, for all this to happen and go down like this.
These candid revelations sent shockwaves through the music community. Imagine being 13, living with one of the biggest names in hip-hop, and being constantly surrounded by this type of reckless behavior. At a young age, Usher was learning not just about music, but about the dark side of fame.
Looking at this lawsuit, right, Lil Ron, he alleges that, Diddy told him personally that he had sex with Usher. And when you look at the lawsuit, even though they got Usher's name redacted, you could tell who it is because they described him as the guy that performed at the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, we all know who that is, but how you feel about that, man?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital.
It's clear Usher wasn't the only one involved in these freak-offs. The young star wasn't just spending time with Diddy. He was in the company of some of the biggest names in the industry: Biggie Smalls, Lil' Kim, Craig Mack, Faith Evans, and Mary J. Blige. The Puffy Flavor Camp wasn't just about music. It was a chaotic mix of creative energy, fame, and decadence, where Usher was learning just how dangerous that energy could be.
Especially if he getting butt plugs in different flavors.
But speaking of butt plugs, right, I remember some years ago, Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with mates.
Yeah.
And he caught the dildo in the sea.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then Mace said that was Puff's. I think he said Mace said that was Puff's, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man, but that was real weird to me. That was crazy.
Crazy, man. But before we get off of that, right, I remember you told me a while ago that, you know, Mace, he used to live with Diddy, and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher, though?
Usher used to stay with Diddy, too, when he was younger.
Though he was just a teenager, Usher was introduced to the toxic cocktail of fame early on. "Sex is so hot in the industry," he said in a Rolling Stone interview, recalling his time at Diddy's home. "I was introduced to everything by Puff Daddy when I was only 15. Parties, women, sex, and drugs. I've had a taste of it, but I'd never let it take me over." Even as a young man, Usher realized the gravity of what he was being exposed to and how dangerous it could become.
Well, a lot of people believed that, you know, Usher was groomed by Diddy.
He wasn't only groomed by Diddy, he was groomed by L.A. Reid, the rest of them too, man. Because they knew what happened. Then they came out and brought him back, and all of a sudden, he's getting all the great tracks. He's getting all the songs. They making him into this star, even though he may have been abused.
They seem to be pretty good friends.
Well, they probably is.
I mean, they did a lot of work together, man, throughout their whole career. You know, Puff was early in his career. Puff and Usher were working together when Usher was just a kid, all the way up. I mean, you know, I think there's videos from not too long ago when they were together, and you know, Puff is making jokes about how they used to wrestle for the Frosted Flakes in the morning. And,
yeah, I bet they did.
You know.
Somebody frosted somebody flakes.
But it wasn't just the parties and the excess that stuck with Usher. It was the atmosphere that Diddy cultivated, a world where success was tied to indulgence, where creative talent was paired with chaotic lifestyles, and where things that were morally questionable became normalized.
I get a deal with LaFace Records, and it's now about to happen.
Every time I look at you,
They decided that Sean Puffy Combs was the person that really helped me understand what it was to exist as an artist. So going to New York City was full of so many obstacles. One, I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now being in this big city, I don't know nobody. I don't know my way around. I don't know the culture of what this place is. I don't even know what the word culture meant at the time. And it was hard. There were a lot of things I seen and a lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions in my life about who I would be. I was 13 years old. And being 13, having that type of exposure, it was cool to go to Howard Homecoming with Puff. It was great to be able to go to Club USA or the Supper Club, with Puffy in that time, or the Tunnel. But these are places that a 13-year-old probably should not be. Most kids will be excited about it. Most kids are trying to figure out, how to be around, hot girls, pretty girls. I'm around grown women, and I'm seeing them do things and have experiences that I'm not quite ready for.
Usher described how the culture at Diddy's house was not just about mentorship, but about immersion into the life of fame in the rawest, most indulgent form. You'd stay up until 4 a.m., partying with Diddy and his entourage, but I stayed up longer than them, Usher said, reflecting on his time there.
From Kim Porter. See, Kim was one of the first girls who was brave enough to get tapes and get what she needed to get. You understand? This is commerce, this is bank exchange on flesh and pride and ego. Tamika knew she could get Usher because she had evidence of what he was doing with the diddler. And guess what? Rather than going to the police and doing the right thing when that boy drowned on Lake Lanier, Usher did nothing for his stepchild. Matter of fact, I know for a fact he paid money to have that investigation shut down.
Despite all the excitement and temptation, Usher wasn't blind to the darker side of what he was witnessing. I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at, he admitted. It was pretty wild. His own words reflect the inner turmoil of a young boy suddenly thrust into a world of excess and influence, unsure of what he was really seeing or understanding, but knowing deep down that it wasn't normal.
I think that he was just trying to show me the lifestyle. However, that's not what I was there for. I was there because I wanted a career, man. So we would fight, we would tussle. More than often, I think Puffy would say, man, you gotta chill. Like, you just a little bit too intense. You gotta relax. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, like banging on this man as though, I am the manager. I am the spokesperson for Usher. And I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. You're gonna make me a priority too. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? I think as a kid, I realized, hey, look, that's not my ring. That's not my moment. That's not my bottle. That's not my drink. That's not my celebration. So I'm not here to celebrate.
It's not just Usher who has spoken out about the disturbing experiences under Diddy's roof. Others who were involved with Diddy's camps during those years have hinted at similar circumstances. Stories that paint a grim picture of a world where money and power were used to justify behavior that no one should ever be exposed to, especially at such a young age.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new sexual assault allegations. A lawyer representing 120 accusers says the artist committed numerous sexual acts on his clients, dating back more than 20 years. ABC's Andrew Dimpert has the details.
This morning, Sean Diddy Combs faces a slew of new allegations. 120 new alleged victims coming forward with plans to sue, claiming Combs sexually assaulted or abused them.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
The alleged assaults span 3 decades, with the alleged victims ranging from men and women who claim they were drugged during Combs' parties to a 9-year-old who claims Combs assaulted him in a music studio.
When you talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts.
The new accusations have not been fully vetted, and the lawyer expecting to file the lawsuits says victims will remain anonymous whenever legally possible. But the claims come on the heels of a dozen other civil suits and a federal criminal case against Combs that alleges a decades-long pattern of physical and sexual violence.
Even in 2024, as Diddy faces charges that could change the course of his career and legacy forever, people are looking back on these interviews and memories from Usher, realizing that the clues were always there. Usher's experiences weren't just anecdotes. They were potential red flags of something far more sinister happening behind the scenes.
First time you met Justin Bieber, this kid comes up to you. He's not Justin Bieber yet. He's just some kid. And he says, I want to sing for you.
It was at the studio of Jermaine Dupri's. I said, why don't you set up a meeting between me and your manager? I'd love to meet with you and do this in a formal setting. I'm late for an appointment with Jermaine Dupri.
Right.
And I don't want to keep him waiting. Let's just do this the right way.
And then you have him come to audition for you, right?
Actually, there were a few people. My wife at the time.
Right.
It also was Perry Reed, L.A. Reid's first wife.
So you were all sitting in a room somewhere?
We were in a room.
Yeah.
And I showed her the video. And Perry says, are you crazy? You better get down there and meet this kid right now. He's amazing.
When all these dick pics come out and all this stuff with Bieber's big penis, are you the mastermind behind that? Say, listen, show off your big penis and people will come to those concerts? Or are you sitting there?
Is that the kind of manager he's doing?
Usher, are you sitting down with him and saying, yeah, show your cock, or leave it in your pants? I mean, do you sit him down and say, look, part of this is PR,
Hey,
man.
by the way, he does have a brain of his own.
Yeah, but were you shocked at the size of his penis?
Hey, listen, he has a mind of his own. What he chose to do with his penis is his prerogative. He's managing that aspect of his life.
But Usher is somebody...
I have nothing to do with Justin Bieber's private parts, man. Come on.
Some believe these stories are more than just cautionary tales of a young man caught in the whirlwind of fame. They're part of a much bigger picture that could explain the ongoing legal challenges Diddy is facing today.
Well-known Texas lawyer announced to a crowd of reporters on Tuesday that his law firm plans to pursue legal action against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs on behalf of more than 100 victims. More than 24 of those future plaintiffs say they were just kids when Combs allegedly assaulted them. We're talking about attorney Tony Busby. And it's not just Combs that he says is caught in the crosshairs.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. We now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases. I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against.
The resurfacing of these interviews comes at a time when Diddy is sitting behind bars, awaiting trial for charges including sex trafficking, abuse, and even using his power to manipulate vulnerable people. The timing has led many to connect the dots between Diddy's past behavior and the current legal ramifications, suggesting that his interactions with young artists like Usher may have been more about control than mentorship.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence. How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair, you have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Yet, Usher's memories aren't solely filled with regret or resentment. He has often spoken highly of Diddy's business acumen, noting the lessons he learned about the music industry, entrepreneurship, and how to build a brand. In fact, Usher even admitted that Diddy's guidance helped shape his career as an artist. "I saw him in real time working it out, building something from nothing," Usher once explained. But those lessons came at a personal cost. Lessons learned in an environment fraught with temptations and moral compromises. Even now, as Diddy faces a public reckoning, Usher has largely stayed silent about the more uncomfortable aspects of his time with Diddy. While some of the details from Usher's past continue to resurface, he's distanced himself from the controversy that surrounds Diddy's name today. But his actions speak volumes, particularly after he scrubbed his social media accounts clean in 2024, fueling speculation that he may be attempting to distance himself from his past associations.
We've seen it before, and everybody, I'm telling you right now, everybody in the music industry and everybody in Hollywood knew about this, okay? There's no BSing about it, but I knew about this guy when I was in Hollywood, and there's some other people that I know that have these type of parties. I don't know about the cameras that I would never go to, and I was warned not to go to, okay? It's no secret. Just like Epstein, just like Harvey Weinstein, and everybody knew. Look at how many videos, and everybody praised them. Michelle Obama, Barack, all the videos are surfacing with him and Diddy and all these people. Even Usher. Usher deleted his Twitter account, deleted it, right? Or took everything down. He deleted a bunch of, I think 7,000 tweets, and then came back a day later and he put...
Me again?
He wrote, account got hacked, and damn, y'all ran with it. It's not a secret. I'm tired of everybody playing this game, okay?
Well, actually, read the comments on what people said. Let's see what people said, like if they bought it or not.
Okay, yeah.
The old...
Did he hack your butt?
The old... The account got attacked and hacked.
That's the first one. Oh, that's security. Keep going, Robbie. So crazy how it got hacked, but instead of posting crazy stuff, the hacker just deleted your post and Diddy got arrested. And all the stuff with Justin Bieber. So weird, we all ran with it. Right, bro? Nobody's buying that, dude. So, Pat, the majority of these... Pink said the same thing.
That's the best one.
Yeah, but guys, Pink and somebody else, they deleted their stuff a little while back. But Usher, in his own words on the Howard Stern show, like when I tell you guys, these demons hide in plain sight, like Diddy.
You think you know Sean Diddy Combs, but what if the power, the fame, and the nightclubs hid something chilling, something unimaginable? Behind the VIP rooms and the flashing lights, there's a side to Diddy's world you haven't seen. A side that he's allegedly tried to keep hidden for decades. This isn't just a story of partying gone wrong. It's about a night at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards afterparty that left a teenage girl's life shattered. Was it all a misunderstanding? Or is there a darker reality lurking in plain sight?
You're doing so good. I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Get out the party
And plus I heard the puppet was going to be there, so I got scared. Check it out. So thank you for this award. It means a lot to me.
These new lawsuits against Diddy bring fresh accusations that span over 2 decades, raising questions and building a chilling narrative around a single question. Just how deep do these stories go? And if the whispers are true, why is the entertainment world still quiet?
And Kanye also mentioned that there were a lot of entertainers and athletes who he claimed were controlled. Take a listen.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
No, not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name.
And we didn't know what he was referring to then, but I will say that there is something I've noticed about those names that he is naming. LeBron James, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Why is he saying these people in particular? Well, as we know, they have a lot of clout in Black America. In fact, Black America treats these people like they're kings and queens. In fact, Black America refers to these individuals as kings and queens. Yes, LeBron James is known as the king, right? Beyonce is the queen, Queen Bey. Whenever these people come out and they make a statement politically, everyone just immediately gets into formation, especially for Beyonce, if you get where I'm going here. Beyonce and Jay-Z were one of the first people that were out marching for Trayvon Martin. Remember that picture of them? They were out marching and everyone said, oh my gosh, that was it. Suddenly BLM was a thing. It was mainstreamed and you were not allowed to be a Black person that stood against BLM, because who would stand against something that the Queen herself ordained? And something else that I've noticed is that these individuals, they're all on the same side politically. Like, don't you think that's kind of strange?
Sean Diddy Combs, who currently sits in federal custody, awaiting trial on charges including racketeering, sex trafficking, and other grave offenses, faces perhaps the most shocking allegation yet. It's a story that, if true, reveals not only a betrayal of trust, but also paints a damning picture of celebrity excess and impunity.
Emmy Award-winning producer Ty Sticklorius, founder of the music management company Friend at Work. In fact, the reason you might know her is one of her most famous clients is John Legend. Now, Sticklorius wrote an op-ed piece that was published in the New York Times on Thursday, and it was entitled, "The Music Industry is Toxic. After P. Diddy, we can clean it up." And she recounts one of her own encounters with Sean Combs, or maybe I should say at a Sean Combs event, because she wrote in the essay about attending one of Combs' New Year's Eve parties on a yacht in St. Bart's 27 years ago when she was in her early 20s. And she says that during that party, a man she didn't know who seemed to be an associate of Sean Combs brought her to a bedroom aboard the yacht and then locked the door behind them. She wrote, "To this day, I can't remember how I managed to talk my way out of that terrifying situation. Perhaps my nervous babbling, my brother's on this boat and he's probably looking for me, convinced him to unlock the bedroom door and let me go." She went on to say that she didn't know if the man had any real connection to Sean Combs, and she kind of chalked it up to what she called an anomaly. Maybe he was just a drunk guy at a party who tried to take things a little too far. But now, she says, looking back on her experience after everything has come out, or all these allegations have come out against Sean Combs, she looks at it differently. Writing, "It was an indicator of a pervasive culture in the music industry that actively fostered sexual misconduct and exploited the lives and bodies of those hoping to make it in the business. This toxic situation has been allowed to fester because power has been concentrated in the hands of kingmakers, wealthy, entitled, nearly always male gatekeepers who control nearly every door that leads to success and who can, without consequence, use their power to abuse young women and young men. Too often, women have not been safe in recording studios, on tour buses, in green rooms, or in offices. It's not a bug of the music business, it's a major feature."
According to recently filed court documents, 5 more individuals, 2 men and 3 women, have come forward with accusations of assault, drugging, and coercion, each encounter echoing the same disturbing theme: a party atmosphere that allegedly enabled Combs to exert control over vulnerable, sometimes underage, individuals.
We are following breaking news right now related to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Major new allegations today of sexual assault and exploitation by Combs. For the first time, we are hearing about victims who say they were minors when they were allegedly assaulted by the music star. The youngest allegedly just 9 years old. The allegations were revealed today by attorneys representing more than 100 alleged victims who are preparing to sue. So let's bring in NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas right now. So Chloe, we know there is currently a press conference underway. We do have a live picture of that. Can you just walk us through these new allegations and tell us if we've heard from Combs Combs yet.
So the individual that you see on the screen right now, that is an attorney based out of Houston, Texas, and his name is Tony Busby. He's been a part of some very well-known litigation over the years involving a BP oil spill, even involving the Astroworld Music Festival crisis where some individuals were killed during a stampede. So he has made headlines before, but this is pretty shocking. So he is claiming right now at this press conference that he has had over 3,000 individuals reach out to his law firm in Houston, Texas, that he and his team have been vetting these claims, that now they are representing over 120 accusers, and that over the next 30 days, they will begin to file different civil suits, that this is not a class action lawsuit, that they are going to continue to vet these allegations, but right now they feel strong about these. So he also said today that it's not just Combs that will be named as a defendant, that there will be other high-profile individuals, some household names. He says, quote, many powerful people, there are many dirty secrets. So what does all this mean for Diddy? If convicted on the racketeering and sex trafficking charges alone, he faces life in prison. For a man who once dominated the music industry and led fashion trends, it's an unthinkable fall from grace. And yet, the gravity of these accusations has left even his most die-hard fans questioning whether there's any way back.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
The billionaire rapper.
I'm a savage! Oh!
Now facing some serious music.
This man is going to go down.
Coming up on 60 Minutes.
I saw the aftermath, the bruises, the busted lip, knots on the head.
Sean Diddy Combs accused
party freak-offs. They allege that Diddy filmed it.
Of shocking crimes against multiple women.
It's probably not the half of it.
And the evidence is damning. You expect to see Diddy in handcuffs?
I do. Each one of those charges carries with it a 25-year sentence.
Combs' trial is set for May 5th, 2025. Until then, he will remain in custody, unable to buy his way out on bail. But the damage may already be done. Regardless of the trial's outcome, these accusations have forever tarnished his legacy. No amount of denials or legal maneuvers can undo the stain left by allegations of this nature.
Developing at 5, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back inside a federal courtroom here in New York.
All right, a trial date's now been set for May 5th of next year. Lisa Evers live in Lower Manhattan with the very latest today. Lisa.
Well, Stephen, Natasha, this was Sean Diddy Combs' third time in the courthouse you see right behind me, his first time before a new judge. They did handle these calendar matters and also set that May 5th, 2025 date for the trial to begin. But what was most striking was that his mother, Janice Combs, who's been with him his whole life, flew up from Florida to be with him, as did most of his children, in a show of support. Sean Combs' son, Christian, known professionally as King Combs, held his grandmother's hand as they left the courthouse with his other siblings.
We want to hear from you. Anything you want to say at this point.
Judge Arun Subramanian acknowledged that his mother, Janice Combs, came from Florida for her son, and that his kids also traveled to be in the same courtroom with him. Combs' attorney, Anthony Rico, sat by his side throughout the proceeding. He's handling the appeal of his bail denial, which is a separate case in the appeals court.
In the end, the truth will either free Diddy or seal his fate. But for those who claim to have suffered, this isn't just a headline. It's their life story, marred by a night that should have never happened. So, as the case unfolds, we're left to wonder, will justice be served? Or will power and fame win out once again? Only time will tell.